Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is a topic I've been thinking about for a while, simply for the fact of, well, this. So, context, before one of our Tyranny of Dragons sessions, we were looking at homebrew subclasses that people have made. This one, the one reason why I'm telling you this, is because while making a character involved in that, which the DM gave permission to test it out for a one-shot, it bugged, and somehow he was able to get 2 sorcerer. I know the screenshot isn't the best, but this is the screenshot that I have available. And that got me thinking. Normally in D&D, you can't multi-class into the same class. But what if you could? Now this is only going to be going over the one-on-one. You know, we're not going to go 10 different dips in the fighter to get 10 different action surges, which is fucking nuts. Combining, like, which isn't even that great to begin with. I mean, that's just a lot of extra attacks per turn, but you're not going to be doing much of that. So I wanted to go over the classes and, you know, talk about them, maybe like what the benefits are for multi-classing, and maybe throw out a couple subclass options. So anyway, Artificer. Artificer might be a fairly strong one. With 2 levels in Fighter, you could have you already have your infusions. But if you wanted to, you could go to both Artificers level 10, and you could go for stuff that upgrades. For example, enhanced defense. You can provide your team with pure double defense, at least 2 of them. Heck, even just 2 spell fueling rings. That could be cool. That could be really interesting. Yeah, you get to choose multiple cantrips. You'd be able to get 6 cantrips overall. Also, what I'm assuming is, if you're multi-classing Artificer of Artificer, the abilities would work in the vein of, they'll layer on. So, like, being able to make double the infusions that you can make. Again, this is all speculation. And really, it's up to your DM if you ever wanted to give this a test drive. We sure as hell aren't, because that would be way too hard on our part. Other stuff you'll get, if you get to high enough level in both, which would be 14th, you can get double the amount of Flash of Geniuses, which could be pretty nutty. As for subclasses that would combine with this, I would say Armor is definitely one. Ignore the... I'm going to turn off Homebrew subclasses, just to keep things in check. Honestly, I would say Armor and the Artillerist. I feel like that's just a nice combo. Being able to get usage of your bonus action to give yourself temporary HP, as well as being able to be like the bunker down of your team as well as still having decent firepower and decent range opportunities. You are still a half-cast. Yeah, sorry. You are still a half-caster, so you're not gonna get all the spells on the list, but that's fine. You'll still end up getting, at the very least, I believe, 2 5th level spell slots. And really, I think those are the best parts about it. Yeah, that's the Artificer. Barbarian can be nutty. So, stuff that wouldn't stack is unarmored defense. Unarmored defense for both would not stack. It would just equal up to the same thing. However, you'll get double usages of rages, which is interesting. Double usages of rages. You won't get double reckless attack. You will get multiple paths, or primal paths, what two I think would be good? Really? Just Totem Warrior and anything. Probably, I would say Ancestral Guardian. Totem Ancestral Guardian. You're forcing enemies to want to hit you because they'll have disadvantage on hitting anyone else, as well as you're getting resistance to almost all damage in the entire game. That's a grinder. That's a nice combo, and it really sparks up. What level does Ancestral Guardian get the? Yeah, level 3. So this could be all set up at level 6. And honestly, that's not that bad. But yeah, Barbarian, not as interesting, but there's a really good combo there with Ancestral Guardian and Totem Warrior Bear. And also, you would get even better critical, or even a higher brutal critical. Do I think it's gonna be as much? I mean, depending on the weapon, but that's fairly late. You would have to be 18th level by that point. Not every campaign's going that high. A Bard. Okay, first thing I have to mention right away. You would get double Bardic Inspiration, which is really nice. Even just a 1 level dip in the... Okay, so a Bard starting off, then getting a dip in the Bard, you'll have... If you have max Charisma, 10 usages of Bardic Inspiration. Which that's not including the short rest you can get at 5th level. Which is pretty nutty. I will also point out, the Bard is still... With the levels, it would still get you to 9th level spell slot. So there's some interesting combinations you can do. Magical Secrets. You could always go with the Lore Bard combined with another Bard to get a fairly interesting combination of a lot of magical secrets, which could be interesting. Lore Bard, call it a tragedy. The tragic lore of a Bard. Okay, yeah, I like the vibe of that. That actually sounds like a really cool vibe. And honestly, that doesn't even sound like that bad of a combination. Keep in mind, magical secrets could be anything, as well as the expertise the character has. Yeah, this Bard is cool. Bard is really interesting. Oh yeah, you could also use a Bardic Inspiration to reduce the thing. So yeah, Bard, fairly interesting. Blood Hunter. I'm not gonna go into super depth because I haven't played as much of Blood Hunter. Like, I feel like I'd have to play it more. Although, getting double Crimson Right, or I mean double the amount of Crimson Right just gives you an extra usage of literally any of them. More Blood Curses could be fun. Blood Hunter Order. I think a Ghost Slayer Lycan is cool. Like a werewolf hunting ghosts. In undead. That just sounds cool. It just sounds really cool. Also, keep in mind, I'm not including extra attack being stacked up. So, like, oh, it'd be another extra attack. No, no. Anyway. Now we get on to, I would say, possibly one of the best options for this. Cleric. Picking 2 domains is fucking nuts. So, the biggest thing of 2 domains, you're getting more channel divinities. By 10th level in Cleric, you already have, don't mind the name, by the time that you are this high of level, or 10th level, you'll have 2 channel divinities from both. Now, what combination do I... So, yeah, we have that. We'll have whatever channel divinities we get, as well as extra proficiencies, as well as divine intervention, which probably will not trigger, because you don't get that success rate even higher. But that's fine. What two channel divinities would be great? Originally, I was going to say Twilight and Tempest. Sound like a really nutty combo. But there's one I really like better. Grave Domain Tempest. Marking an enemy for death, and then calling in this max damage lightning or thunder spell that will do double damage. That which is not including a crit. And all of that could be set up by level 4. As well as it has heavy armor and martial weapon capabilities. Yeah, this is just good. Like, it's really good. Like, ridiculously good. As well as it being a benefit of a character class that can get 9th level spells. Druid. Biggest issue with Druid. I don't believe your wild shape would continue to gain benefits if you were a moon druid. I don't think combining druid with druid would, like, with how it's worded, I don't believe you'd be able to, like, keep on stacking them up and up and up. That being said, there are still nice options. Simply going for the circle of stars and dreams. Stars and dreams could always be nice. Stars and shepherd, you'll be like the best healer. Healer summoner combination. As well as getting use of a lot of your abilities. Again, that benefits of a 9th level spellcaster. Could be really interesting. Fighter. Fighter is interesting. This would be one that you'd probably want to go 11-9 at the very least, because you get triple another extra attack. I will say, when I was having this conversation with the RDM, he looked up the wording on how this variant of it. Where is it? Am I stupid? Oh, yeah, it'd be under here. Ah, yeah, here we go. So, how Action Surge would work with this is, as long as you don't get this 17th level version of Action Surge, even though you would have multiple, he pointed out that you'd be able to use 2 Action Surges during a single turn, as long as you didn't have this variant. I would not rule it that way. That's just my opinion. It would still be, you could only Action Surge once per turn, which I still think either way is fine. Oh, you'd have a lot of feats. A good chunk of feats. As for subclasses, a good old reliable is Battle Master combined with something else. I think probably one of the strongest combinations you could probably go with is Battle Master Echo Knight. There's definitely something there where you could just pop off. And I love my Echo Knight. I fucking love the Echo Knight. And the fact that yeah, it's just good. It's just really good. As well as the versatility of different fighting styles. It just really, fighter could be really cool. Monk. So you'd have to get 2 levels of monk, otherwise it's not going to work properly. In the vein of, you need the second level in order to get key from the second one. But there are unique subclasses that you could do with this. There's stuff you could pull off. So you'd be able to get even faster movement. Like, you'd be a speed demon by level 20, 10, 10 for both. But really, if you're talking early, you'd go 6 levels in one monk and then get a second monk. Otherwise, your punches will not be considered magical, and that will be very detriment on your damage. What subclasses would I recommend? We actually don't have one of them, but there's a combination of the open hand and long death that I like. The battlefield control of the open hand monk in combination with the long death monk, being able to maneuver someone into a particular area to fight them one-on-one, and then basically stealing their life essence to grant yourself extra protection. Like, it'll just enhance what the monk is capable of, which I think monk is on the same level as rogue, where they are just a duelist, where they get out, get in. The duelist or striker, like, they'll go in, go out, just go in, whatever. But I don't know if you can tell, but I've not talked about any feats. Feats will apply to everyone, which is why I'm not talking about them. So as for the next one, Paladin. Okay, I gotta say it. Paladin doesn't get much from doing this. Because here's the thing. You would not be able to stack aura protection. You don't get much from other attacking. You don't get anything special. As for, the only other thing is being able to get options for Channel Divinity. So I would say, of the subclasses that we have, at the very least, I would say Oath of the Ancients could always be nice. Oath of the Ancients combined with the Oath of the Watchers could be really fun. The Oath of the Ancient Watchers, mainly just due to the fact of getting higher initiative based off of proficiency from your whole team, or giving it to your team, as well as having spell damage resistance, which is pretty solid for a paladin. You'd be able to stack lay on hands, even though it'd be the same amount as you would have had by level 20. Overall, paladin is actually, I would say, the worst. Like, you would not multi-class paladin with paladin. Like, there's no real best option for paladin, because they're all pretty mediocre. Ranger. I need to double check wording. Specifically on 2. Or specifically this one. Drake Companion. So armor just matters by proficiency. And 5 times your ranger level. Okay, yeah. So, it just says ranger level. So all that matters is you having levels in ranger. So layering down ranger and ranger for Drake Warden is fine. Combine that with, let's say, a swarm. Again, battlefield controller. Being able to manipulate stuff around you and being able to give your Drake better coverage. Another one is always a Gloomstalker. Combining Gloomstalker of Hunter sounds absolutely nutty. I think Ranger actually beats Paladin in this one. I can't believe I'm saying that. But Ranger actually beats Paladin in this one scenario. Rogue. Sneak attack would still work as normal. You'll get a bunch of expertise. Yeah, sneak attack works. Sneak attack works. Expertise work. As for the subclass combination, uh, I feel like you would just go for stuff that a combination of stuff that you would like. So I would go with a combination of swashbuckler and thief. Thief for the gaining benefits for extra benefits for a cunning action. You're basically being a swashbuckler, but with extra cunning action stuff. Which, truth be told, I feel like is nice. Like, I feel like it's really nice, very handy. And yeah, Rogue isn't as impressive, but can. I mean, I really think I think honestly, Thief or yeah, no. Yeah, Thief or Scout are probably the best dip into a primary. Like you'd go 3 levels in this and then rest in one. But dipping into Scout or Thief are probably really nice. Either you get extra but cunning action stuff, or you're able to move as a reaction whenever someone's in 5 feet without getting hit with opportunity attacks. Which I think is always pretty handy. Okay. Sorcerer. Sorcerer, I originally thought would not be as beneficial. Because it would be the same number of sorcery points. But then I got to thinking. Do you know what's something that could be easily abused with it? 3 levels in one sorcerer, 3 levels in another, 6th level, you'll have 4 extra meta magics. Which is absolutely nuts. Because meta magic, I think, are the best is one of the best features in D&D. One of the funnest. I always have fun with my sorcerer. And in fact, I want to play recently I've been wanting to play a Storm Sorcerer recently, to give that a shot. As for subclasses, it's a hard judgment. I think one that could always be decently reliable is a Draconic Blood, just for the fact that it gives you a little extra health and a constant mage armor, which is always handy. Another good combination is combining the Aberrant Mind and the Clockwork Soul, simply because that just expands your spell list by such a massive margin. Like it gives the sorcerer so many more spells, even if you don't take the option to exchange spells out. That could be pretty nice. But yeah, Sorcerer can be crazy depending on how the setup is. Warlock. Warlock. Okay. So, Warlock isn't as crazy. You'd get a lot of evocations. But keep in mind, there are level restricted ones that I don't think would be able to go past what you could get, which I think is fine. Because a lot of the ones you would probably want are from 9th level, and you don't have to go 10. You could always go further in one. You can be able to get double pack boons. I think for the best option would probably be Pack the Blade and a coin flip between either Tome or Chain. Talisman's still fine. I just think in comparison for what this is trying to do, I think Tome and Chain provide a little bit better stuff. As for the subclasses, I think the Hexblade Fiend could be a really devastating combination. Being able to use your charisma for melee attacks, being a melee duelist that can siphon the soul from the enemies that they kill and get like a shielding above their regular HP, and then being able to mark someone for practical death and be able to just kill them and get the life force from him. That could be pretty nutty. I think other ones that could be cool is the vibe of the Fathomless and the Great Old One. The Great Fathomless could be interesting. Genie Celestial could be fun. But yeah, you'd get double the cantrips, and at the very least, with a 10-10 split, you'll be able to get 4 level 5 spell slots, which isn't as good as just going straight Warlock, but you keep in mind, you don't have to go 10-10. I'm looking at it from 10-10 for the most part, but given my viewpoint of like, okay, it's probably, you could probably go one over the other. And then finally, we have the Wizard. Already, we have double Arcane Recovery, which could be nice. Being able to get a bunch of spell slots from short resting can be really handy. You have a massive spell list. Like, combining the powers of 2 different types of spells could be very devastating on the right wizard. What combination do I see that could be really handy early? I think a really good one, and I want to double check what level does the Conjuration. Is it this? No. This? Yes. Focus Conjuration, or Conjuration Wizard combined with the Evocation. Being able to have like a really good summon, like let's say a summon elemental, and then being able to make your elemental immune to the damage that you send, like a fireball where the elemental is at in the middle of the crowd of enemies, or even just be able to just do that for your allies too. Like it's a really handy, interesting combination. And the blasting, the power of this is really nutty. I think another combination that could be interesting, and I'd have to look further into more details about it, but Illusion and Enchantment, I feel like could be a very interesting combination. But really, a lot of these subclasses could be really interesting if you combine it with another subclass of the same class. And unlike, I did not say this for the Sorcerer as well as the, Sorcerer, Wizards also get 9th level spells, as well as Sorcerers. So I don't know. I think the biggest winner, if you would categorize this by winnings, like what classes would be the best dip for itself, Cleric dipping into Cleric is pretty nice. Other good ones are Sorcerer is definitely a good one. Warlock is up there. Rogue. I think the really only bad one, like I would not recommend it at all, is Paladin, which sucks because I actually love Paladin. It's between Paladin and Sorcerer for being my favorite class. But yeah, Paladin's actually the weak link. Yeah. I mean, Bloodhunter is not that great either, but I can't make super many comments on it. But yeah, this was basically what if classes can multiclass with itself. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is all just a speculation. Would you at all want to play a class that multiclassed with itself, and if so, what subclasses would you pick? Would you pick some of the ones I briefly mentioned from looking at the list that we have, or would you come up with your own twist on combinations that could be interesting? Please comment down below, and remember, Stay tuned to more D&D videos. Have a good one. Bye.